Collingwood threw everything at you. How pleasing is that to get the win against the top side?
Yeah, it was good. It was a high-pressure game, high-stakes game. I just liked the way we went at the game in the last quarter. We've sort of been a little bit scratchy in last quarters in recent weeks, but we talked at three-quarter time about continuing on to go at the game. We knew at three-quarter time we're going to finish top four. We just didn't want to go back into our shelves worried about that second spot. Just go for it and see what happens. Thought the players did a good job.
Seems like you've learned a fair bit from that Melbourne game going a while back. You've had some close finishes, and obviously Collingwood always finish well. How pleasing is that to see you've learned from some of those games?
Well, that's the thing about your losses. They actually help you more sometimes than your wins because you do learn a bit from them. I honestly felt like that night. I'm not taking any credit away from Melbourne, but we and I botched the last 5 or 6 minutes of that game, and it was a hard lesson to learn, but a good lesson. And yes, when we found ourselves in that situation the last 4 times since that game, funnily enough, it's worked out okay for us. So good that the boys have taken on board the stuff that we've talked about and taught them and executed.
Chris, where does tonight rank? I mean, this is the end of your 7th season. In terms of home and away victories, it feels like your most important. Did it feel like that this week and tonight? Does it feel like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know the game was talked up this week as this is like a grand final for the Lions. It's up there because it's a hard task to come here and play them. They're a great team. And even though they had a few out, they throw everything at us. They had nothing to lose either. If they could have beaten us with their good players out, that would have been a great boost to their confidence. So no doubt they probably talked about that. So good for us to get the job done. If we meet again, they'll have some good players back in, so it'll be a tough task. But on the back of 2 6-day turnarounds off a Perth trip. Pretty special effort by our players, and we had a couple of blokes off at the end, so as did they. It was good to win under those circumstances.
Just on those two, do you expect Kalachi and Link McCarthy to miss next week?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I think Cal's is more like a back spasm thing that's more short term, according to the medical people. Link's got a tight calf, so it was a pretty. It was just a call by our doctors to not damage it any further. So we don't know if there's a strain there or not, but certainly not too bad.
When you say that Melbourne game where you watched the last few minutes, was that by going too defensive in the game, and in those top finishes you keep playing the game out, play the attacking style that got you the lead?
There was a lot of things. That was part of it, but there were quite a few other things too. The explanation would take too long because it was 5 minutes of vision where various things didn't quite work to plan. We just kept kicking it back to Max Gawn that night, which wasn't very smart. We've done it better in recent weeks.
How do you see the balance of your forward half mix tonight? You have a really good spread of multiple goal kickers. Is that something that can set you apart from other teams?
Oh, there's plenty of good goal kickers in all teams. I think we've got a potent forward line, and if we can supply them often enough and quickly enough, then we're always a chance to score them. It's probably an entertaining game tonight for all the people watching it. I don't love the fact that they kicked 100 points, but I do love the fact that we kicked 124. So sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too, I don't suppose. But we know we've got a potent forward line, and our midfield was better tonight. We've been a little bit down, I reckon, in the midfield the last few weeks. Tonight, Lockie and Josh got to work, and along with a few other blokes in there, it was a good performance.
Chris, you've been following footy for a long time. Have you ever seen a player run around for 2 minutes without his Guernsey on?
No, I haven't.
What did you think when that happened?
I wasn't sure what the rule is, to be honest. I think he's supposed to go off the ground, isn't he? Or someone's got to get a jumper out to him pretty quickly. Neither happened. Well, I suppose if I had the build that Devon Robertson's got, I'll be probably pretty happy running around for a couple of minutes with no top on, and I'm sure that those who like that sort of thing in the audience would have been pretty happy too.
Like he said,
nobody's got near the record you do against Collingwood recently. You won 6 in a row now. Why is that? Is there any reason to it?
No, but probably the theory that you guys will come up with is that we just haven't played them at the MCG. So, you know, it's been, what have we played them a couple of times here and mostly at the Gabba? That's probably the reason. We've played them at the Gabba more often than not. We're hard to beat there.
And nobody's scored against them like you. That was the highest score Craig McRae's conceded at Collingwood. Why is that? How are you able to get through them tonight?
I don't know. I didn't know that was a factor. I thought after quarter time, even though we kicked 6 in the first quarter, I thought we tried to play them at their game. And then I thought after that time, we started to kick the ball a little bit more, take uncontested marks, change the angles. I thought we did that really well in the last quarter.
Just back on Lockie, he said himself during the week that he was feeling down on what he had been. What was he doing around the club to sort of get him back into the sort of form that he would have liked?
Well, to be truthful, he didn't really say it during the week when he was asked. But he's had a bit of flu, and he's been a little bit injured as well. This week was the first time he's been able to get out on the track and train normally, and I think he got a lot of confidence from that. He's also got a lot of pride in his own performance as well. So that's the truth about that. He's pulled up well tonight, which is encouraging. He's a pretty tough sort of guy, but yeah, just the season had worn him down just a little bit physically, and then obviously a bit of illness. But yeah, back to his best tonight, I thought.
Were there times when you thought about pulling him out because he was struggling a bit with soreness?
I talked to him about it walking off the ground last week. I said, mate, you can have a week off next week if you think it's going to help you. And I think that might have sort of like, no, coach, I'm not having a week off. I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to be right to play. That's just Lockie Neal.
From a philosophical point of view with the scoring, I mean, as much as you like scoring 124 tonight, they scored 100. As a coach, do you prefer a lower scoring game, or are you happy with a shootout type atmosphere?
So I'll tell you what we like. We like to kick a high score. We like to keep the other team to a lower score. But when two good teams play against each other, it's probably harder to do. Footy's been played at a breakneck speed this year. It's faster than ever, I think, and this stadium lends itself to high scoring. But no, I'll probably be happy enough kicking a little bit less and keeping the opposition to fewer points, but that's just the way the game rolled tonight. Good for everyone watching. Thanks, guys.